Good afternoon, Representative Carter, 2nd District. Good afternoon, Senator Coleman, Representative Fox, Senator Doyle, Representative Ritter, and my esteemed ranking members, Senator Kissel and Representative Rabimbas. It's a pleasure to be here today. I wish it were under better circumstances. I want to put one disclaimer out there in the beginning, because I know I only get 3 minutes. I had what I would call the best divorce in the state of Connecticut. A number of years ago, I was involved in a pro se divorce. My former wife and I got along fantastic. Today, we've been divorced around 12 years. We have 2 fantastic kids. I think it cost me around $500 for the divorce, including 2 certified copies of the divorce decree. So I'm not one of those people here who had a bad judgment from a divorce. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. I'm here today because after taking office in 2010, I have seen this problem. I have seen a problem where I think people have lost faith in our family court system, as I have lost faith in what I've seen in the family court system. Specifically, the parental alienation that's going on with respect to kids not getting a voice, the role of guardian ad litems in the system. I think we all have constituents come to us. I'll tell you, the first person who came to me back, maybe 2010, 2011, I thought she was off her rocker. She was sending me so much information, I couldn't absorb it, and then I finally spoke to her, I sat down, I got to know her, I got to know more people in my community going through the same thing, and I found out this group of people really may appear nuts to us. And you know why? Because they've lost their kids. Because they're victims of what they feel like is an unfair system where they've had a guardian ad litem come in and represent their kid, but not represent the best interests of the kids or the family. As I've seen this move along, I see this as a systematic problem. The guardian ad litems in our community and the attorneys in our community are good people. I have no ill will whatsoever, and I believe they do what they can to stand up for their clients and the community, and I don't begrudge anybody. But I do believe that what we've done is we've created a system that is inherently, breeds more controversy. It breeds conflict. By putting the guardian ad litem in that spot, I think we've given a greater opportunity for families to fight over the disposition of their own children. And I think that's really where I've seen this thing develop, and I think that's wrong. It doesn't make any sense to me that we don't have DCF involved. And DCF is a licensed clinical social worker, making these kinds of decisions to see if a person is or a child is in any kind of danger, not another attorney. And I don't mean it because attorneys are bad. I don't mean it that way. I mean, we want trained individuals out there who are licensed clinical social workers making this determination, and I don't think we need to pay an attorney to do it. See, the other part of this that I urge the committee to think about is when you're looking at these bills, this one is not just another negotiation about trying to say, well, we want to keep the guardian ad litems, in business because they need to be able to earn a living, and family attorneys need to be able to earn a living. Like, this is different. Like, we need to make a systematic change in the way we do this, not looking at this as another business environment. Because you know what, folks? People have lost confidence in the system because of it costs too much, and because of what's coming out on the back end as they're losing access to their children. It makes no sense. And it may be just 1 or 2 or 3 of your constituents coming to you saying that, but that really is far too many. And when you talk to these folks, you know what? I don't want to see you rolling your eyes. These people have a legitimate problem on their hands. And I think we're there to help them, and it's indicative of a system that's gone awry. And it's a system. It's not the people. So I hope, with 494, I don't think this is a start at all. I think it needs to be scrapped and started over. It really does. I think we should look at the role of guardian ad litems, and I think the previous testimony may have had some really good ideas. Because I would have sat here and I would have said, hey, scrap the whole thing and leave it to probate and leave it to juvenile court. And maybe we should have licensed clinical social workers, more of those funded through DCF. That would make sense to me. And let's not keep talking about a sliding scale. Because at the end of the day, attorneys are great people. Attorneys do a lot of pro bono work. But that's not the measure of what we're doing if it's right or wrong. Attorneys can do pro bono and we look at them and say, that's great. But it's the middle class who are getting raked over the coals with these fees and these divorces, and even the good divorces stink. They're emotional. You have 2 houses to support. It's very difficult, and now we lop on all these fees because of a system that breeds conflict. That's what is before this committee today, and I hope you look at 494 and you do what you can either to make it better or toss it out the window. Because at the end of the day, we need a system that's fair and equitable for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much. I really welcome you coming and speaking so passionately. When you had referenced, I don't know who here is rolling their eyes. I've met in the last couple of weeks with folks that are advocating changing the guardian ad litem system, folks that aren't even in my district because they felt so passionately about this. I appreciate the fact that perhaps for some 494 is not good because they want to throw the whole thing out. One of the things I wrestle with, though, is that there's objective evidence that in excess of 90% of the cases where the guardian ad litem system seems to work and be helpful. What we're trying to get our arms around are those extraordinarily contentious divorce matters where custody is a real central issue and where apparently there has been abuses, and I wouldn't say that there hasn't been. And so on the one hand, I hear you. We're trying to get our arms around this, but I can state unequivocally that every single person in leadership of this committee is taking this very seriously. We do not look down upon the advocates for change, and none of us were rolling our eyes. This is very serious stuff. When you talk about families and children, I don't know a parent that doesn't put their child first. And so your testifying here is very much appreciated, and I enjoy serving with you on the General Law Committee as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
May I make a comment, Mr. Chairman?
Feel free to.
Thank you. And I apologize to the committee. I don't mean any reference to the committee members in general rolling their eyes. I've seen a lot of it going on. These are emotional issues for a lot of people, and I certainly did not mean that directed to the committee, in general.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Representative Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Carter. I'm so happy that you're here. I think that I find another rep with the same passion to argue and fight for this. So thank you very much. And in a way, I agree with you. I agree with a lot of issues. I think that we have to check this bill, 495, and do a lot of changes. I don't agree with a lot of, in this bill. And I think that not a lot of, maybe, I don't want to offend anybody, but I think that when parents complain and they keep complaining, and this is so, the issue and the problem is so bad, some elected officials, they try not to, maybe it's hard for them to believe that this is going on. Like in the beginning when I heard, first heard about it, it's awful. The problem is so bad and the corruption is so bad that elected officials tend not to maybe believe because they don't think that the problem is so bad. So it's not that we allow that. Is that, we just find out. I think that a lot of people are sick and tired of this. And finally they decide to open their mouth and say, this is the problem. But I believe, I agree with you. I don't think that that we need guardians ad litem in the family court. They want family guardians ad litem, let them have family and maybe probate and juvenile court. That it was the intent of the guardian ad litem, and then suddenly 2006, it changed. But I do believe that you're right, and I agree with you 100%. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, and in the names of those parents, they are losing their kids. In the name of those, I will say thank you. I believe that it's a lot of ways to lose a kid, and I just went through that. And for me, it's no chance and my son is coming back. But it's a lot of parents out there that have a lot of hope. And I think that we should help them to get those kids back. Again, mine is not coming back, but I will help as much as I can every single day of my life to be sure that those parents, they'll get the kids back. Because what's going on is not fair. You're playing with the family. You're playing with kids. And we shouldn't allow that. So again, in the name of those parents, I will say you thank you very much for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, this truly is about kids at the end of the day. This is all about kids, and the people who've come to me as constituents have totally lost the ability to see their kids. And I can't think of anything short of criminal activity that should result in that. And that's not the reason in most of these cases that I've seen in my area. So I think that's why this is so important for us really to dig into this. And it's not always about corruption. See, we're all human beings here. We all have, you know, we have our jobs to do. If we're an attorney, we believe in what we do. If we're guardian ad litem, we believe we're acting in the best interest of people. But at the end of the day, we have to look at this objectively from a systematic standpoint, and we have to have the courage to do something about it. I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you what, you know, the divorce system is in dire need of repair, and the results are the parental alienation of these kids. At the end of the day, we have to do something about it. So I appreciate being here today. I appreciate the committee being willing to look at these, because I know a lot of things come up in a short session. I know this is controversial. So I just want to say, to the bottom of my heart, I'm glad each one of you has been willing to do this. So thank you.